Hey man, say man, it's your boy Young Guapo back at it again with peace of mind. Here to give you a piece of my mind to help you have more peace of mind. So let's get straight to it. Today we finna be talking about why you shouldn't place women on a pedestal. This one for my brothers out there. This one for my man folk, my kinfolk. The men who are out here chasing women all the time, directing to all majority of their energy towards chasing all these different women who just don't need that bad, who just aren't as important as you might think, who just take all your time, all your energy, cause you to worry, cause you to stress, you just thinking about women all day, every single day. This is for my homies out there who just know that they spending too much time focusing on these women and need a little voice of encouragement to help them have more peace of mind. Alright, so let's get straight to it. Number one reason, women are always going to be there. Women will always be there. A woman is not going to just disappear. Like, there's not going to be a day where you wake up and there's just no women ever again. So it's like a lot of folks act like women are just gonna disappear. Like they act like one day they just wake up and there'll be none of them left. They'll have no chance whatsoever. Or like 2 years will pass and every single girl in the entire world will be in a relationship and they'll just be lonely and sad and just bored all their life with no woman. And maybe that's supposed to be the case for you, but chances are if that's you, you're not watching this video. Alright, so you just gotta understand they're always going to be there. There will always be a single woman, especially if you just doing what you gotta do. It's always gonna be a woman. It's always gonna be a woman there for you. Always. There will always be another one. Even if the one in the past wasn't the right one, there will always be another one. You'll always be able to meet another one, and there is not a lack. It's not like the ratio of men to women is like 10 men for every one woman. It's like it's pretty much equal, like 50-50. Like, and that law, my favorite example of that law, of that 50-50 law, is like when I look at my dad's family, it's 14 of them. 7 women, 7 men. It's just like that. I don't know why. That's just the way it works. And out of 14, if it's like that, then I just put on a wider scale of the billions. And even if you Google it, it's like the ratio is like 1.2 to 1, with like women being more. So if anything, you have even less to worry about because there's always an abundance of women. There's always going to be a woman there for you. There's always going to be another woman you could talk to. There's always going to be a woman who you find more attractive. And there's always going to be somebody else you can meet because at the end of the day, they are just people. All right. Number two, there's a lot of women. There's a whole lot. A whole lot. That's basically the same thing I just said, but there's a lot of them, man. It's a whole lot of women. There are lots of women. If you go to classroom, you'll see it's a whole lot of women. If you go to any function, you'll see there's a whole lot of women. There's always a different woman. So you think about it, the girl you saw yesterday who you thought was so attractive, so great, so amazing, she's still gonna be there tomorrow, and there will be another one tomorrow because there's a lot of women. There are a whole lot of women in this world, a whole lot of women you're gonna meet in your life. Number three, they're not all God's gift to earth. Like they are, but not every single one of them is gonna be the best woman you've ever met. They're not what you think, like what you set them out to be. They're really not all that great. Not every single one of them. Like there are some, majority won't be that some, because when it comes to life, there's just not majority of people that you get along with. It's not gonna majority of people aren't always gonna be your best friend. Like you only have like two, three, four best friends max four. But majority of the time you only have like one, two best friends, and this is when it comes to guys. So just think about how much less, or just the same ratio when it comes to women. Like you're not gonna get along with everybody you meet. You're not gonna fall in love with every single girl you talk to. She won't fall in love with you. So you just gotta understand, like they're not all that you set them out to be. They're not gonna be the best person that you've ever put in your life. They're not gonna all be the best person you've ever met. They're not gonna all have the best personalities, the best bodies, the best relations, the best life. They're not all gonna give you that thing that you're always seeking it for in them. Because if you're seeking them that hard, then chances are it's something in you gotta work on. And you just gotta understand they're not all like the best. Like women can still do you dirty. They can still break your heart. They can still crush you. They can still make you mad. They can still insult you. They are people. They're literally people. People just have when it comes to people, it's like the law of like numbers. It's just out of like 50 people, you're not going to become best friends with every single one of them. They're not all going to like you. They're not all going to love you. So why do you think that you're going to love all of them, or that every single girl you meet is going to be the best one for you? Next, they're not all better than you. And that's something that you have to get in your head. If you always feel like in every interaction the woman's just like the same, like if you think they're all God's gift to earth, they're not all better than you. Like, you bring certain things to the table and they bring things to the table too, but you can't be in a position where you're always feeling like, wow, I need to prove myself to this woman. I need to act out a character. I need to go and be so expressive, and I need to make sure this woman knows that she's so much, that I'm so good, so that she can validate me and make me feel better. It's like you should be able to have that validation, that security, and that confidence in yourself, because they're not all better than you. Like, there's just like they're just people, man. They're just people. And when it comes to people, if you meet a lot of people, they're not all going to be better than you. They're not all going to have everything figured out in life more than you. You can see the most attractive woman that doesn't even have a job, never worked a day in her life, doesn't even know how to talk to people. She treats everybody around her terribly, and all she thinks about is men. And then you start to see like a correlation. If that's your main focus, then you never have time to focus on the things that's going to attract them in the first place, because people aren't attracted to people who only want people in their life, because then you just look a kind of way. You have no confidence, you have no security, and you just look like a fiend. Like, you're just fiending for people in your life, fiending for attention, fiending for somebody. And it's very, very obvious when that's the case with somebody. If you ever seen somebody who's just very insecure, and they're always in a relationship, every single month or every couple months you see them posting a relationship with somebody else, they're never single, you have to think like, why can't you be by yourself? There's something missing there in that person, that they feel like they need to be in a relationship every single time. Like, every single day they have to, like, as soon as you get out of a relationship, always in the next one. Like, everybody knows somebody like this who's always in a relationship, and you have to understand, like, they're just people. Like, they're just people. You need to be able to be comfortable by yourself. You need to be able to be confident by yourself, and only then can you truly join with somebody else, because then they can tell that you bring something to the table yourself. So you really just gotta understand, like, there's so much more to life. There's so much more to life than these women. There's so much more to life than just cooch. There's so much more to life than just always trying to think about talking to the next woman, because there's so many. So it's like, why are you trying to talk to all of them? There's so many. If you talk to all of them, you're gonna end up running out of breath, because you can't even talk to all of them, or you're gonna look a type. If you go to a party, you're talking to every single woman there, then chances are they're all gonna curve you, because they've seen you talking to every single one. So what makes them different to you? To them, you look like somebody who just shoots the shot at everything that walks. That you don't have any type of morals or boundaries. You don't have any type of. You're not really choosing them. You're really just testing the odds, just picking cards, seeing which one flips over. Basically, it just doesn't. It's not attractive. People don't like it, and it's not gonna bring you any closer to any more women. So even if, like, you're in the mall and you're shooting a shot at everyone, it's like you're not gonna feel special. If you get a girl who was extremely easy, and she was just like, hey, like, she doesn't know anything about you, but she's willing to, like, spend all this time with you, always come over to your house from the first day she's ever seen you, barely even knows you. You just gotta think, like, why are you so comfortable doing this? What is it in your past that made you comfortable doing this? Why do you have this confidence? Where does this come from? And it may just be that you're just a good person and she's trusting you, but majority of the time that's not the case, because they have to know a little bit of something. It's like, you got to think, if like, what if I was a bad guy, or what if I'm not the way I am? Like, you got to ask yourself these questions. When a woman's, especially when they're way too easy, you got to be like, if you're this easy, then how many other people has it been this easy for? How many other people in life are you this willing to just do whatever with? Because at the majority of the time, you're not that special. Like, even though I said they're not that special, you're not that special. So it's like, if they're willing to do so much for you without you putting in any work, then chances are they're doing that same thing, or they have done that same thing that easy for other people. So that's why it's good when you have to, like, work for somebody, but not working overworking to where they're making it intentionally and unnecessarily hard. It should be like you have to work. They're not just throwing themselves at you and giving you their all instantly without you giving nothing in return, because that's not really equivalent. And you got to understand that it comes from a lack of something. I don't know what that something is. Maybe a lack of security, a lack of self, a lack of purpose, whatever it is. It comes from a lack, because you should not be that willing to just do whatever for anybody. Because if you're too trusting without being able to like really analyze, then you're gonna get hurt. So it's like chances are they've probably been hurt, and that leads to a lot of the issues you see with a lot of people, a lot of women who every single time it's so hard to find a woman that hasn't been cheated on. It's so difficult. My fault, y'all. The video cut off because I ran out of storage. But back to what I was saying. So my next one was, a good woman won't be difficult if you're focusing on yourself. If you're focused on yourself, you have all the cards right, you playing your cards right, you're doing the things that you need to do, the woman will not be difficult. It will not be extreme amounts of unnecessary work for her to want to mess with you, for her to want you to be her mans, for her to want you at all, for her to give you time of day and to pay attention to you, because you have stuff that you have to bring to the table, so that she'll be willing, and she'll understand. And it won't be like a dog chase cat, it'll be like a mutual interest, and you guys will be like both interested in each other, maybe one more than the other, but you won't have to like prove yourself, and it just won't be as much work, as much unnecessary work, even though it should be work, because you need it to be some level of challenging, so that you could feel like you actually accomplished something, achieved something, and won the prize. But it shouldn't be like you're calling her and she's responding the next day, telling about some, oh, you know, I was busy. Like, no one's ever that busy. You could have texted me before you went to sleep, could have texted me at night, could have texted me when you had a little bit of time, if she really wanted to give you that time. So you shouldn't have to, it shouldn't be in a situation, or you shouldn't be in a position where you have to prove yourself and continuously seeking her validation, when you already know what you bring to the table, and you know what you have to offer. So it should just be a case of, she's so interested in you that she starts to see those things as you reveal your character to her, and it attracts her even more and more. And you shouldn't have to like try, you shouldn't have to go out of character and try to be something you're not. And if that's the case, and if you have to be something you're not, then it's not going to work, and you just don't want that woman, because she doesn't even like you for you. Next, the wrong woman brings stress and anxiety. Let's keep it real. Women are stressful. Having a relationship is stressful, and it will cause anxiety, but the level of that determines on the quality of the relationship and the quality of you guys, honestly, both of y'all. But the woman can bring excess stress, unnecessary stress, and you have to be able to discern whether or not this is the woman that's right for you when it comes to that. But if you're just out here seeking any woman, then majority of the time they probably will cause unnecessary stress, because this is somebody who shouldn't even be in your life to begin with, and you're going to be going to sleep worrying about who she's talking to, who she's texting, whether or not she's out right now, whether she's lying to you, because they could say anything at the end of the day. But not that this is going to be the case with every single woman, but it could happen, especially if they don't have true genuine interest in you. So you just gotta stay on your 10 toes, keep your eyes open. But next, if they're gone tomorrow, then that means you wasted today. That means you wasted today. So basically what I'm trying to say is, you're basically out here like forcing yourself to try to get this woman who won't even last. Like, you're wasting your time, because anything that's temporary isn't worth your time. Like, she's not going to be here tomorrow. If she's not going to be there next week, then that means you spent all that time doing something with her, when you could have been spending that time working on yourself and becoming a better man for the future, or just becoming a better person overall, or spending that time with like people who actually matter, or who will be there tomorrow. Because it just doesn't make sense to invest in things that aren't going to last. It's just a waste of time, a waste of energy, and nothing. We don't have nothing. There's no more precious resource than time. Time is your most precious resource, so you have to make sure you spend it wisely, doing the things that you need to be doing, and not wasting it away on people who aren't going to be there in the future. Because then ultimately it's like you help this woman build herself to be better for the next person, and that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. We're here to work on ourselves, or spend the time with our friends, or people who actually mean something to us, or who will be there in the future. Next, you need to be going somewhere so that the woman will want to go with you. You need to be on your own path in life. You need to be on your own journey. it's like nobody wants to hop on a bus that's not going anywhere. It has to have a destination. It has to have she has to be interested in your vision, in the thing that you want to make of yourself. She wants to find that appealing. She wants to go there with you or help you on that journey. But not that you shouldn't help each other, but she should be attracted to what your journey is. Like if you're an artist and she sees like, I love his music, I see he's actually putting work, she's gonna be like, I need to be with this rapping dude because I want to be in his life when he makes it. And then she'll hop on the bus. Not that you're already big, I mean that could be the case, but now that you're already made it, and then she just sees that you made it and only wants to be with you because you made it. It's like she has to be willing to go on that journey with you. And a lot of times you have to, I mean, no, you have to be on a journey. You have to be on a journey. You have to already be on the path for her to walk with you. You have to literally be going somewhere. So if you're not doing anything with your time, you're never doing anything productive, you don't care about yourself, then why should she care about you? Next, they aren't focused on you. If they aren't focused on you, you have to figure out why. If they, like, majority of women are not focused on you. They're focused on themselves. They're working on building themselves. Not a majority, but a good amount. The one you want, anyways. The one you want isn't focused on you. And if they're not focused on you, then there's just no reason for you to be as focused or stressing about them, because you're putting them on a pedestal, but they're not putting you on a pedestal because they have their priorities straight, or they should, but they should have their priorities straight. And if they don't, then it's the same thing like I just said. You don't want to be with them because they don't have anything to offer. They don't bring anything to the table. And if they're not focused on you and you're the only one who's always putting in 110% and they're putting in 0%, you have to figure out, maybe it's something that you have to work on yourself. Maybe there's something about you that isn't attracting women. So first of all, get yourself to that point where you could even have something to bring to the table. You have to figure out why they're not focused on you, why they're not looking at you. Maybe you're too fat and women don't like fat guys. Maybe that's the case for you. A lot of fat guys do have women. Don't get it twisted. But if that's the reason for you, and you feel like you want more, giving what you have to offer, if you feel like you need to bring more to the table, then go work on yourself. Do what you gotta do. Maybe it's your bank account. Maybe you need she likes a man who could take her out to eat every once in a while, which most women do. Then figure out, how can I get my finances in the way where, or maybe you see like every single time you want to talk to a woman, she wants to go out to eat, you can never pay for her. Then it's like, okay, this is why. You have to find out why, find out your reasons as to why they're never ever talking to you or never even looking your way or interested in you to begin with, and start there. But it's always workable. There's always something you could do about it. It's never ultimate end all be all, because there's always someone for everyone. There's too many people for that. And next, there are more important things to do in life than focusing on these women. There are more things that are going to bring you more fulfillment, more joy, more happiness in this life than focusing on women. Women will give you a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of anxiety, just a lot of worry that's unnecessary if it's not the right woman. So you have to make sure you get the right one. And that goes into my next point, which is that the right one, you only have to be right once for the right one. You only have to be right once. So if you get the right woman, she'll be the rest of your life. So why focus on all of these women when you really just have to be right one time in your entire life? You literally have to be right once. Like if you get you the right perfect woman who's gonna ride for you, she has all the qualities you want, or a majority of them, and she's willing to work on herself, and you like spending time with her, and you guys both have a mutual interest in each other, then you'll never even look at another woman for the rest of your life, even if this isn't the best looking, the most attractive, because attraction is subjective to person, but a lot of times attraction isn't the most important quality when it comes to relationships. So you just have to realize, like, okay, she isn't the right one for me. Move on to somebody who will be there tomorrow, who you can spend time with, and then you guys could look back in 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and look back at the memories you've made, instead of all these different memories that you're only making with different people, and you can never talk about it with them, because it just isn't ideal. It's not as fun when you can't talk about the past. So there's something that really helped me with this, a Bible verse that shows you why you should focus on women, even though you shouldn't put them on a pedestal or put too much time into them, but it is still necessary. It's Genesis 2:18, and it says, "It is not good for a man to be alone. I will make a helper who is right just for him," or just right for him. And that's important, because you got to understand, at the end of the day, no matter how much you hate women, no matter how much they cause you stress or worries or troubles, you have to realize, like, they were made for us as a helper. Like, they were made to be there for us. So you should be interested in them. You just shouldn't put them on a pedestal and look at them like they're amazing, like they're all the greatest thing to earth, because at the end of the day, they are literally God's gift to man. But at the same time, they're not all gonna have the same gifts that you want. They're not all gonna have the same gifts that you want. They may not be your prize, the specific ones that you're chasing, and you shouldn't even have to chase. It shouldn't be a chase. It should be more like a just like a mutual, just y'all just come together and it works because y'all like each other. You got what each other wants in a person, and y'all come together and make something beautiful happen. But that's really what it comes down to. But don't take this as like, let me not never talk to women, let me never give women any mind, let me just be by myself, let me never talk to a woman if I find her pretty, unless you're going through some stuff and that's what you feel like you need to do. But overall, it is good to be with a woman. It's good, it's nice to have a nice little lady by your side. Everybody desires that, but just go about it the right way, and don't feel like every single one of them has to be the best one for you, because everyone's different. You just have to go through it. Everything's an experience in life. You experience one woman, you see what you like, see what you don't like, take those characteristics and find the next one. You find out your values, you figure out yourself through relationships. So very they are very helpful when it comes to finding out what you want in your life and the next person for you and what you're interested in. But it shouldn't be your main focus or priority in your life, especially if you're a young man who's working on yourself and working on your business or working on your journey to becoming who you want to be. If you feel like this video helped you, please give me a like, subscribe, and if you feel like you have anything to add to this, if you was a man who's struggling with this, comment down below. If you got any advice that could help people, I hope this gave you a peace of mind, because it most definitely gives me peace of mind. I'm out.